sells popcorn.
Happy Halloween, everyone. I hope you're having fun with your family or your friends or whatever you guys do on Halloween. But this is very bittersweet for me. It's the 31st day of October. It's the end of our 31 days of horror together. So I appreciate you guys for sticking with me for this whole month of October. It's been very fun to talk to you guys about these scary movies, some bad, some good. But either way, I hope you have some good recommendations going forward or of movies, or I hope you guys had some fun with friends while watching a bunch of scary shit. So 31 is a 2016 movie directed by Rob Zombie, and it's starring Rob Zombie's typical cast of misfits that he has in his movies, like his wife Sherry Moon and Richard Brake and Malcolm McDowell. 5 carnival workers are kidnapped and held hostage in this abandoned hellish compound where they are forced to participate in this violent game called 31. It's where they have to try and survive 12 hours of these sadistic serial killer clowns, basically. Objectively, this isn't a good movie story-wise, but the plot is way easier to follow than The Lords of Salem, and it's very simple and digestible. Because the movie is titled 31, I wanted to talk about this movie on the 31st of October, just thought it was fitting. I really thought it out. I was like, maybe I'll talk about Halloween, but I feel like Halloween is such a cliche thing to talk about on Halloween. So I was like, I won't do that. Still a great movie. Maybe I'll review it in the future, but for now, I want to do something that would kind of subvert expectations in a movie that's kind of overlooked or underrated even. So that's why I chose to talk about 31 today. Not a great movie by any means, but let's talk about some positives first here with this movie. So starting off, visually, Rob Zombie's movies look good for the most part, most of the time. He just has a talent and an eye for shot composition. Him and his DP, David Daniel, who has worked with him in the past. He actually worked with him on The Lords of Salem as well. And he's worked with him on The Devil's Rejects, I believe, and Three from Hell. A lot of his movies, I don't know about early on in his career, but that's why I feel like Rob Zombie's movies always kind of look the same. Also, Zombie makes some very interesting editing choices most of the time in his movies, and I really dug the way this movie was edited, honestly. And usually it can bother me with the way he edits sometimes, but here it just fits so well with the grindhouse feel of it. This movie was on a lower budget. I believe it was like 1.5 mil to make it. It was crowdfunded, actually, and for a while, as of late, Rob Zombie has been kind of working as an independent filmmaker and outside of the studio system to kind of make his own things. And I think that's kind of where he thrives in. And I don't know, Three from Hell just didn't really jive with me that well. But I like that he's coming up with more of his own original stuff. Lower budget filmmaking to me is obviously very inspiring as a filmmaker, and having to crowdfund and raise up money yourself outside of a studio, I have to commend him for that. I also love the feel of lower budget films, just like the look of them, and it just feels very put together, whereas studio pictures kind of feel very conveyor belt, like highly produced and glossy. And while I think they make their 1.5 million budget work for their advantage and making it look visually good and sound good, the script and the dialogue just does not support a good movie just because it looks good. The characters are just very mundane and have basic ass dialogue that people just do not say, and sometimes they have some nasty dialogue, and when characters in Rob Zombie movies have this nasty dialogue, it's just immediately like, it's hard to like stay in it and want to keep watching. I don't know, it's just like, it feels like we're being nasty just to be nasty for no reason. It doesn't feel like it's taking the story anywhere or servicing anything. It just feels like gross. The best thing that I could say about the characters here though is that Sheri Moon Zombie is badass and is the best that she's ever been ever in any of his movies. While she still has some nasty dialogue that she has to say, I still feel like she was actually a badass in this movie, and I wasn't really expecting that. And the other character that really stood out to me was Richard Brake as Doomhead, and he's almost kind of like this Joker type of character. It's very sadistic. He has a very nice opening monologue, and later on he has some great moments with Sheri Moon Zombie. Richard Brake absolutely chews up the scenery here. This movie has a lot of over-the-top clown henchmen in it. Like, it has this little person, this like little Mexican dude dressed as Adolf Hitler, and he just terrorizes this group of 5 people for like the whole beginning of the movie, it felt like, and he's just running around being like, "Ponta, ponta!" I feel like that's got to be the extent of Rob Zombie's Spanish. Ponta, ponta! So this game called 31 has 5 heads that you have to kind of get through. Sick head, and then it's Psycho head, Schizo head, Death head, and then Sex head. Very creative names, I know. But when they fail to kill Sheri Moon Zombie, they have Doomhead come in last minute to kind of finish the job. But then the game runs out of time and they have to let Sheri Moon Zombie go. So she gets let out, and then, you know, Doomhead is kind of like, the fuck, you know? She's walking down this road all bloodied up, and then Doomhead follows her in a van, gets out, and then he's right behind her. They have this cool standoff with Aerosmith's Dream On playing in the background. Which reminds me, the soundtrack in this movie kicks ass. It's got a lot of great music here, which doesn't surprise me because I feel like, once again, Rob Zombie movies always sound good. He knows what to do because he's a musician. He knows how to do that, but I think the music was done by John Five here again, who also did The Lords of Salem. His movies look and sound great, but it's the writing that really drags it all down. However, this is a fun, easy watch if you want to have a nice Halloween night, so I'm going to give the movie 3 out of 5 stars. Everyone, I hope you have fun tonight for Halloween. Do something fun, go out, stay in, whatever you want to do. I wanted to thank you guys again for watching these 31 Days of Horror, because these reviews were very fun to do, and I hope you got some enjoyment out of them and at least got some bad, some good recommendations for movies. More reviews will be coming soon, I'm sure, and I plan to be making more short films and different stuff, so stay tuned for that. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.